Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to start with hyperthyroidism. So if you remember in the previous video, we studied about the hypothyroidism. I told you about the whole feedback mechanism of how the thyroid gland leads to the production of the T3 and the T4 hormone and how the level of this hormone leads to hyper or hypothyroidism. So what does the term hyper mean? So the term hyper means something that is more than normal. Okay, so in hyperthyroidism what happens is that the level of your T3 and the T4 hormone is going to increase. Okay, it is going to get hyper. In hypo, if you remember, in hypothyroidism I told you that the level there was going down. Here the level is going to go up. Okay, the level of T3 and T4 hormone in the body is going to increase. Because of this increased level of T3 and T4 hormone, there will be a swelling in the neck that will be seen, that is said as hyperthyroidism, can also be said as goiter. Okay, so if you remember, many a times in our junior classes we have studied about what is goiter. Whenever there is a solid swelling in the neck region, that is known as goiter. Okay, so moving ahead one by one, what is hyperthyroidism? I told you it is a condition in which the level of the T3 and the T4 hormone in the body increases. Commonly this condition is seen more in cases of females. There is negative feedback mechanism involved in this particular type of thyroidism. So if you don't know what is negative feedback mechanism, go watch the hypothyroidism video. I've told the whole mechanism there. Okay, so moving ahead, it is also said as Graves' disease. This swelling is said to be goiter. It can be multinodular or it can be solitary. Also it is said as thyrotoxicosis. Okay, moving ahead, what is the etiology? What is the main reason that because of which the hyperthyroidism is happening? So the reason can be Graves' disease, it can be multinodular goiter, or it can be inflammation of the thyroid gland. It can be drug induced, maybe because of some drugs this is happening. It can be the Base-Dows disease or increased level of iodine or the increased supply of iodine in the patient's body. Okay, these can be the few etiological factors that is responsible for this particular disease. So you can see that in a normal thyroid is somewhat like this. Okay, it is a normal thyroid and this is enlarged thyroid gland, that is known as hyperthyroidism condition. Due to the enlarged size, obviously something that was inside the skin layer of your neck is enlarging in size, so that enlargement can be seen superficially also. So there will be a swelling that will be seen and that swelling is known as goiter. What are the clinical features? What are the features you're going to see in the patient when he reaches you? There will be weight loss despite of an increased diet. So patient may tell you that I'm having a very good diet, still I'm losing weight. So that can be a thing. Heat intolerance. This is completely opposite to what we studied in the hypothyroidism. There was cold intolerance, but now in hyperthyroidism the patient becomes heat intolerant. Palpitation can be there, difficulty in breathing, fatigue, sweat, fine tremors, mental irritability, osteoporosis, loss of libido, disturbed menstrual cycle, infertility, anxiety, ankle swelling, angina and diarrhea. So there are a number of clinical features which we have in hyperthyroidism. You can remember any 5-6 of them. Moving ahead to a very special feature, that are the eye signs. So in case of hyperthyroidism, you see certain eye features that are very, very particular ocular. Okay, so that they are more specifically related to your eyes. So there can be 5 different features or signs that can be seen. The first one we have is the Enroth sign. What happens in the Enroth sign? You can see that below the eyes there is this swelling, this puffiness that can be seen. So this is the Enroth sign. Whenever there is edema, try to relate it like Enroth edema. Edema means accumulation of fluid due to which swelling is seen, and this is what edema or Enroth sign is like. Now we have the Moebius sign. What do we see in Moebius sign? If you put the finger on the center of your nose, on the bridge of your nose, you will see that if you try to converge your eyes towards center, they will normally converge towards the center. Okay, but in Graves' disease what is going to happen, that there will be a failure of convergence of the eyes towards the center or to the opposite side. The eyes will not converge. So this is the Moebius sign, that is related to your mobility. So Enroth was related to edema, Moebius is related to mobility. Now von Graffi's sign. In von Graffi's sign what happens is, For example, you're sitting in front of the patient and you put your finger in the air and you ask the patient to follow the routine of your finger. For example, you are sitting here and the patient is sitting here. Okay, and if you ask the patient that follow the fingertip, if it goes up, see up, and if the finger is going down, you please see down. But you will see that the patient is not able to follow this cycle or this command. What will happen is one of the eyelids will look downwards only. The other one is going to move normally. So the upper eyelid lags the eyeball as the patient is asked to look downwards. The next we have is the Joffre's sign, that is absence of wrinkles on the forehead. So you will see that in patients who are suffering from this Joffre's sign, there will be no wrinkles formed in the forehead region. Okay. The last sign that we have is the Kocher's sign. You basically see a frightened appearance. The eyes would be bulging out. The patient will give a shocking and frightened appearance, and it can be a staring or frightened appearance can be given by the patient. So to remember all of these eye signs, I can give you a very easy mnemonic, that is VJ Mesk. So there is no particular meaning in this, but if you can remember with this, it will help you. This is VJ Mesk, or you can also remember it as mask and replace the A with this E. So this is VJ Mesk or VJ Mask. So you can remember the eye signs with this. V is here for the von Graff's sign, Joffre's sign. 1 minute. Okay. Von Graff's sign, Joffre's sign. M is for Moebius, Enroth, Stellweg's, and Kocher's. Okay. So these are the different signs which we have. Moving to the investigations. In investigations, we see that the TSH level is usually decreased in the patient. The T3 and the T4 level is going to be increased. The TSH antibodies present in the patient's body are going to increase by 75%, and the ECG is going to show you sinus tachycardia and the atrial fibrillation. Okay, these are some of the investigations that can be seen in the patient. Coming to the treatment. Now the treatment is completely based on the factors that is causing the disease. Okay, so if the etiology is related, like if the certain kind of drug is related, or maybe if the patient is on medication, or if the iodine content in the diet is increased, so all these are some etiological factors that are supposed to be removed. Another thing is anti-thyroid drugs can be given. Now what are some anti-thyroid drugs? Methimazole, carbimazole. These are some of the anti-thyroid drugs. Initially we give them to be in a higher dose, like 30 to 40 mg for 3 to 4 weeks. So initially the dosage is going to be comparatively higher. Now after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, what we have to do is we have to recheck the level of T3 and T4 in the patient. And once we have checked the T3 T4 level, if the level is decreased now as earlier, so we are slowly going to decrease the dosage, but the whole treatment will be carried for 1 to 1.5 years. Now there are 50% chances that when the patient is going to leave or stop the drugs, then the reoccurrence can be seen. Coming to the surgery, for surgery we can give radioactive iodide IV route ke through, and this is going to burn the entire gland. Okay, this is one of the surgical treatment, that the radioactive iodine can be given through injection directly into the gland, and it will completely burn the whole gland. Another thing that can be done is the subtotal thyroidectomy. So this is another surgical method that can be taken into practice. So this was all about the disease of hyperthyroidism. Now both the topics are clear. I hope you have watched both the video for better understanding. Please like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.